So this is a question that's come up recently from quite a few people. So I've just sort of paraphrased it into one. So a friend asks, the more I realize that it's impossible for any of my activities to be separate from this body, the nature of the body, the more I sense the confinement that Bhante often mentions, and the more oppressive it feels. As a result, I begin to feel like everything I do is worthless, pointless, and that self-loathing, sadness, and this overwhelms me. I believe that such thoughts are rooted in ill will and a wish to just give up, just to give up the practice, become lazy. I would appreciate it if you could give me a few tips on how to go through this kind of state.
Well, by going through it. So the self-loathing, the worldlessness, the confinement, that is all factual. But the reason why it is painful, it's because your views, your habits, your expectations are still kind of referred to from the point of view of sensuality. So the sensual pleasures, the ambition, the inspiration, the spilling out in the world, that is still where your criteria are habitually. Sure, now you started reflecting, you saw, no, that doesn't add up, it's actual confinement, it's sense restraint, all of that, and now this is felt unpleasant. But it's felt unpleasantly not because in and of itself, but it's felt unpleasantly because you're still not fully abandoned the previous kind of views and criterias and notions. So the self-loathing aspect of that confinement is due to basically your kind of addiction of sensuality still being there. And the only way to then, for that addiction to sort of dissipate, is to endure the self-loathing and don't go back to sensuality. They will then revalue it, infuse it again with the old value, which will then remove the self-loathing from being immediately felt and put it back into your framework. As in, sooner or later, when you don't have enough sensuality, you're going to go back and you're going to start self-loathing again. When the distractions sort of disappear, self-loathing is back, confinement is back. So you don't deal with it by doing this or that, you deal with it by not going back to sensuality. And then the self-loathing disappears, confinement remains as a factual thing that it's not unpleasant anymore. And when the confinement remains, no attavada can exist outside of it. So if you go through the withdrawals and endure the self-loathing without breaking the precepts, without falling back onto sensuality, without disregarding the training, you will be destroying the first three fetters. But the risk, you might go mad if you lose your restraint, if you get overwhelmed and act out. You won't get mad if your mind is just spinning out of control. You get mad by acting madly. So if you lose sense restraint and if you don't guard your sense doors, that's how you will then lose control, not otherwise. In other words, if you don't do anything on account of it, it will have to calm down. How long that takes? Well, depends on how addicted you were before. But I reckon it would take a while, because we were all quite addicted before. If we weren't, we would have been born in the Buddha's time and became arahant by now.
So you start, virtue, sense restraint. Eventually you start feeling the confinement that you are in. You're feeling confined by the aggregates, crushed.
Which becomes very uninspiring.
Yeah. Where's the bliss?
Nothing's worth doing. Yeah, exactly.
Just pressure. You're just enclosed.
Yeah.
Here I am, enclosed.
So what do I do now?
Well, there's pain. There's just pain. So you just keep following that same principle of that got you.
Want to get rid of the pain?
Yeah. Not trying to get rid of that pain, enduring it.
Yeah, but again, you can be enduring it for the sake of getting rid of it. I'll endure this when it will go away. I'll endure it so it goes away.
Well, yeah. But you have to
So what do I
understand,
do then? So I'm confined now, on account of sense restraint, nothing's we're doing, self-loading. What do I do next? What do I do?
Well, discerning the nature of that again.
Something else. So what do I do then? Is there anything for me to do?
Why do you need to do this?
Because it's painful. Confinement is unpleasant.
Yeah, well, it's
So what do I do?
painful because you want to do something about it.
Now include that question in the pain.
And I did, and the pain's still here. So what do I do?
Well, and keep
Including it.
Yeah, keep including the wish to step out and do something about it. Other than guarding the context, as we said many times.
And then what? So if I include the wish to step outside of it,
Yes.
now I can just relax and do stuff
Yeah.
because I included the wish.
Yeah, just keep.
Or do I
looking.
still not do certain things and do certain things?
Oh yeah, sure. There are like things to be endured, things to be things to be developed.
But
and
no, in this particular example, I'm confined. You're all giving me advice of what to do.
Well, you just don't
It's
do.
what is it that I don't do?
Don't break any precepts. Don't act out.
Exactly.
Of
Exactly.
Any
You don't need to do
unwholesome
anything. That's the point. For as long as what do I do next? What do I do next? Confinement will be confining you even more because you're trying to outrun it. So you do factually need to stop doing certain things, stop resisting that, so you can calm down, but not too far.
Mhm.
That's the right balance. Too tight and too loose.
Mm.
So if it's too much, I just can't bear it. I can't even think about the Dhamma anymore. It's just so unpleasant, so painful, so self-loading. What do I do? Nothing.
Mm.
I just should not go back to sensuality and distraction. Everything else fine. I'll sit, I'll walk, I'll sleep, I'll talk. You have something to say? I don't have to practice. I won't practice because it's too painful. But I won't go to sensuality. I won't lose the sense restraint, and I won't act out of desire, greed, and distraction. So, what do I do? Nothing. Just don't do. Literally, don't do anything. Which includes don't go back to sensuality.
Isn't it like you're still doing that discernment of this is unwholesome?
No, you won't be doing it.
Mhm.
You can be doing it,
Mm.
but the time will come where even that cannot be sustained. You just have to give it up. It's just too painful. And what I'm saying is that will have to come, and when you give it up, but not all the way.
Mm.
Because you have not been doing certain things. You have been not, breaking the precepts. You have not been chasing sensuality. So now when you give up the practice as well, chasing sensuality and breaking the precepts would be requiring effort.
Yes.
And now that would also fall under the principle, no, but I won't do anything. I won't practice.
Mm.
I won't do anything that exerts the effort because just the thought of effort is just too painful.
Mm.
So, okay, fine. You don't have to make any effort. When that point comes, just drop all the effort, including effort towards sensuality and breaking the precepts
Yeah.
that you have been keeping beforehand.
Yeah, because as you just said, chasing sensuality requires effort and maintenance.
Yeah.
So that's a doing.
Yeah, see, if somebody, before they have been sufficiently withdrawn, decides to drop the effort because it's too painful, well, sensuality is effortless for them because they
Yeah.
haven't been withdrawn from it.
That's it. Yes.
So then when they drop the effort, they'll do the effortless stuff, which is pursue the sense desires.
Yeah.
So that's why the behavior, as we would say, needs to be developed beforehand, the purity of the body behavior. So when that has been sufficiently endured, and you reach the wall in terms of, I can't even think about a Dhamma anymore, it's just unbearable, fine. Now just remember things that you have not been doing, and that's it. And you don't have to do anything new. Just stay from abstaining from certain things. So that's effortless. And then whatever's there, you are discerning it. Just not on account of your own intense terms out of trying to get rid of the pain and so on.
And actually, you would see that even kind of giving up, in a sense, that effort, or even the, like, you know, it's so painful, and I need to kind of keep bearing in mind this pain, or I keep, like, what if I let it go, then it might be pleasant, it might be peaceful, it might be okay. And that's nearly in itself kind of something to relinquish, I suppose, the idea to kind of, that it, you know, I have to keep bearing the pain.
Yeah, yeah.
But it might change, it might be pleasant, might be painful. Oh, okay. That's
It was never in your control anyway.
That's never in your control anyway. But you see, you were trying to control it in a sense, even.
Yeah, well, that's just how the pains of striving work.
Yeah.
You have to determine, which means going to result, you're going to kind of overdo the tightening because it was too loose. When things are too loose, you don't just magically stop right in the right tune. No, you're going to be over tightening it, and then it's going to snap now, right? So let me loosen it. But now you realize, okay, let me loosen it, but not as loose as it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you will find the right tune, the right balance. But see, when you are already tight to the point of snapping, and then what do I do now? Whatever I tell you to do, if it's done on account of that intention, will be another twist for tightening it. So what you do now is just nothing. Oh, so does that mean I go and break the precepts? Well, that's not nothing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So do nothing. So I'm sleepy, I'm hungry, I'll walk, I'll be silent. Oh, I'll go and distract. Now that's too loose. Okay, I'll sit the whole night and think about Dhamma. Yeah, it's too tight. So what do I do now? What do I do now? Why do I need to know what do I do now? Right here, right now. Is that unpleasant? And you realize then it was only unpleasant because you kept trying to sort of get out of it. But then it's, well, actually I don't know what to do, but that's not that unpleasant. I know what I will not do, and that's all I need to know. I don't need to know specific steps that I need to do. I just need to not forget what I must not do. And not doing things is effortless.
That's how you become an island to yourself as well. Like,
and that's how you realize, the line. The line is the action, intentionally acting out of things. It's not this thought, that thought, this moment, my moment, sensation, slept, forgot, I'm so overwhelmed. No. Only if I intentionally choose to open the door, let the flood in, that's how it gets in. If I don't do it, doesn't matter what's outside. It cannot flood me. Intention rooted in greed, aversion, distraction. That's it. Abstain from those and don't do anything else. And you'll be fine.